You know what that means?
Carly was a kitty.
Coyote.
Coyote.
Bears, cats.
Right. It was.
Right. All right. Oh, yes, good. Let me share this.
We're in the building, huh? So we're in the building.
Yes. Let me share.
Woo.
It says 16 minutes here. All right, I'm sharing. Because I can't see. Hi, guys. Say hi.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
hey, hey.
Come in the room. This is the room, right? All right, let's share this.
Everybody.
Come in the room. We live. I ain't gonna put y'all. Is that unprofessional? Nah, we live, y'all. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Say hi. All right, let me share this.
Alexa, turn off.
Oh, who's jamming? Turn the volume down. Let's see who we got. Hello, hello. All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys. Hi. Oh. Jerome. I got it. Hallelujah. All right. I'm excited.
Come on in, everyone. We are excited to be with you tonight. Welcome to The Wait. Go ahead and like, share, and tag.
Yes.
And invite your friends, host a watch party, and
All of that.
yes.
All right. All of that. Do all of that.
So,
all right.
Tonight is our episode 3.
Woo, woo. All right. All right. Oh my God, I'm excited.
Yes.
Hi, Pooh. I'm sorry, I'm giving up your other name. Hi, Nyla. No. Hey, Josh. Hey.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah, and if you see anybody else chiming in. All right.
Our topic for tonight is dating as a single parent.
Yes.
And my name is Janine, and we also have Courtney and Breon with us tonight, and Monica is coming shortly.
Yes.
So she will be with us tonight.
Yes.
Just to share a little bit of my perspective coming from this, I am single, and I am open to dating a single parent. So
Okay.
what about you, Courtney?
All right, so my perspective, I am a single parent and currently in the process of dating. So, yeah.
Well, I'm married.
Right.
It's a good thing.
Well, right.
I guess so.
And so you, Breon, you dated a single parent.
Yes,
right?
yeah, I dated a single parent.
Okay. All right. I like that.
So, kind of just starting things off, Courtney, what's your definition of a single parent?
Okay. So for me, it was just any parent who lives on their own and are raising children.
Okay.
To me, that was my definition. I have heard other things, but I believe that for me, that's the definition.
Okay.
So whether they live with you or without you, you're still a single parent in a sense. Yeah. I don't know.
Breon, did you have a different definition, or is that what?
No, that's about right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. And I know too, so I have the other side of it is that I heard that you're a single parent if you don't receive help from the other parent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I heard that the other day actually, but also prior to that. So I know normally that's a big topic up for debate,
Yes.
or up for discussion because does it necessarily mean that you're single, like doing it on your own?
Mm-hmm.
So you saying even if you get like child support or something, that would still, or would that not consider you as a?
That's what the other perspective says, that okay, well you're getting child support, that's help. So technically you're not raising the child on your own.
Right. When I I asked this question to some of my coworkers actually, and they have the opinion of the latter, being you're a single parent if again you receive no assistance, no help from the other parent. So then I went further and asked the question, well, what do you consider someone who's single and has a child? And they said just a parent. And I was like, that's interesting. I never thought about that and never looked at it that way.
Right.
But I thought that was a very interesting perspective. So we'd love to hear what you guys think. What's your definition of a single parent?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, let us know, because like I consider myself a single parent, like I stated, but I do get help from the children's father. So you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but my thing is you're in the home and it's just you for the most part. I mean, even though he's contributing or doing his part, which he should be, you're still single to the fact that you don't have no one there, you know,
right,
helping.
Right. Yeah, and even in reference like to the weight, not with someone,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So
Yes,
yeah,
I
that could
agree.
be a part.
So how do you know when it's the right time to start dating?
Okay, I can go.
That's
All right. So the right time to start dating, I would say, well, for me, I had to go through this process, this healing process. Like I said, guys, I went through counseling, spiritual and clinical, and then also grief counseling. But I had to work through all of that before I was even ready to date, just to be honest. Now, in reference to me being a single parent, when I knew I was healed, I knew the time was right for me. Now, for my children, this is a different process. I don't introduce them to anybody like her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to get to a point. Like, for me, it would probably be about 90 days. Like, okay, maybe we could go somewhere, you know what I'm saying, before I even introduce the children. You know, and I've had times where someone was in my immediate circle, so they knew them anyways. But I still didn't let them know that we were dating. It was these are my friends, and just keep it there. And I think more so for their protection. Yeah. Yep. How did you know it was the right time, like, to start dating, and even from your perspective of dating a woman with a child?
Well, you know what? I mean, I look at it like I really wasn't ready. Cause I told her, I'm like, look, I don't want to be in a relationship. I wasn't working like I wanted to be working. I wasn't situated really. I was just really starting off everything. And it was just like, I mean, she was just there. So like, we was cool, we clicked. And I'm like, okay, the conversation is just right. We're really at the same place in life as far as where we want to go, you know, in the future, as far as marriage and you know, buying a home and, you know, just being stable and wanting to be in a relationship and be solid, not just a friend or a kick it or whatever. And so that conversation really was like, oh, okay, maybe this could be it. And really, like I said, I'm like, okay, I don't really want to be in a relationship right now. Maybe it's not time because, like I said, first off, if you dealing with a person who has a kid, you already know you have a child now. And at the time, I didn't have any kids. So it's like, I need some money then for all of us, not just for me. For all of us. This is bills that got to be paid, clothes, food. So, I mean, it's a lot, but for me, it was just the conversations that we would have.
I like that too, because even in like getting to know her, it kind of shifted your perspective. Like, oh, okay, well maybe I can. You know, since I'm starting to see that, okay, I'm actually feeling her. You know what I'm saying? And that we could possibly go somewhere. So maybe, you know, having a child is not such a bad thing. You know, but I do agree with you. I've heard men actually state just not being prepared to take on that responsibility. So for men, naturally, they want to be that protector and that provider. You know what I'm saying? That leader over their family. And when it's a woman that comes along and she has children, it's like, okay, financially, I'm going to be responsible for her, but also her child or children, which is more of some people may say it's a burden, a financial burden. You know what I'm saying? Just to be real. So you really have to make certain that you're ready for that type of commitment. You know? yeah, because even when I date, I'm like, hey, I'm a package deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yeah.
I'm a package deal. It's me, but I have 2 little ones that I am responsible for. So it's take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? Just to be real. Yeah.
And coming from that perspective of being the woman with the children, you're not looking for someone. You already have that responsibility, so you're not looking for someone to come and just, you know, be a sugar daddy.
Throw money at me. Right,
exactly.
right.
So can you talk a little bit more about that aspect and what you're kind of looking for as, you know, more of a person to just come along and help and go further?
Yes, I agree. Like, that was worded perfectly. Yeah, definitely. I'm not looking for a sugar daddy. I'm not looking for somebody to toss hundreds at me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm established myself. You know, I'm a very career-oriented, goal-oriented woman, and I make my own money. You know what I'm saying? I take care of my children. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lack for nothing, you know. And, of course, that my relationship with God is a big portion of that. So when I'm meeting a guy, it's I don't plan to put that financial burden on them. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, it's not my plan, nor is it my intention to do that. But I think that it does kind of ease it up for men to approach me because they see that, oh, she is in a career. She's going to be helping in the household. You know, now if I were just a mom, maybe without any finances coming in and I had children, maybe that could be viewed differently by men.
Depending on what type of cat you talking about, because I mean, the average man today, like a cat that I would rock with, you know, you don't necessarily have to just have it all, or I don't necessarily just have it all. You know, it's like we can meet together and deal. It's a saying that I have in the house on my dressers. We may not have it all together, but together we have it all.
I love that.
So it's not about, for me, because you can have all the money, but you still be lacking. You know, and I can have all the money and still be lacking. So it's like, what else do you bring to the table? Because, you know, as far as what type of person are you? You know, are you going to cuss me out? You know, just little stuff. If I'm not doing what I need to do, or if I'm not in the place that I'm supposed to be in right now, can you help me get there? You know, in a lot of situations, you know, you get guys who really just need somebody to help them get there. And, you know, the woman is supposed to be the help me. So sometimes it's not always about, you know, the man just being in the right position. Like in my situation, my wife helped me get to where I needed to be. And I'm not even just saying like she was just giving me money, but it was just being there.
Yeah.
Just being there like, look, man, all right, I know your situation, but I'm here. I'm here. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm falling.
Right. And from a person say, yeah, I'm not gonna date people with kids. You know?
It's mutual. You know, it's both. It's being able to recognize where you are as far as getting ready to date and your maturity level, and then both coming to the table to propel one another further into goals, into purpose, and things like that. It's not just like. That's why it's important that both of you guys are praying for one another and talking with one another and supporting one another in all aspects.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a mutual help me type of relationship.
I love that because I don't want to put a financial burden onto any man. That's not my goal. But I do expect whoever comes to the table to be in a place where we can build together.
Yes.
And that's for me personally, where I'm at personally. Not to say that everyone is there. Even like we were stating, you can be on different levels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking, but as long as we are kingdom minded and going forward together and wanting to build together, I can roll with that. You know, just like you said, what type of person are you even looking for? You know, someone who's going to be respectful, who wants to build, but also they have to have something inside of them. Like I've always said, the person who I get with, they're going to have the grace for me and my children.
Right.
And it is, it's that grace, because children, they're unpredictable. Should we talk about single parenting, right? Children are unpredictable. So I'm like, God, just let them have the grace, you know, because it is, you're taking on, so the emotions of your partner, but also the emotions of children, you know?
And the right man will. I mean, because in every man is a father role, you know, like naturally. So you being around children, you're going to love with them. You're going to take to them and their pains or their craziness, whatever. You understand. You was a child before.
Right.
So it's like, I understand what a kid is going to do. You know, I know why you done that, because you're 12. Or whatever. You know, I know what you're going through. You don't know, but I know your emotions or whatever is all over the place. Puberty kicking in. You don't know what's going on. But like you can tell a young kid, hey, you're musty, and they don't even know, because they're growing into all of that. So it's like the right person is he's gonna be able to key in on all of that.
Yes. I mean, and some questions, like if you're wondering, like, am I ready to start dating as a single parent? You know, have you and your child or children, have you healed from previous relationships?
That's extremely important.
And when I say you and the children, because you got to have some conversations with your children prior to you considering going out and dating. Because if they're not ready, I mean, if you've just come off of a divorce, or there's still a lot of maybe trauma, or kids process things different. You know, so they have to be in a healthy place, because then that can be a hindrance to you dating. And it's simply because they weren't ready and you didn't have a conversation. You know, should they dictate? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying make sure you're both are in a healthy place to where they're open enough, and you know, and allow them some grace. You know?
Just a transition
and
everything. Hey, Monica. Hey, Jenna. Hey, Matt. But like you said, allow them the grace just to transition, because just like how as an adult you go through a healing process, your children as well, their emotions matter. And a lot of times they don't have the words to say, but they may act out. You know what I'm saying? They'll show in their behaviors, and you're like, hold on, something's going on. You know, and you have to create a safe environment so that they're able to open up to you and actually speak how they're feeling. You know, but you have the key word is that safe environment. Definitely. I like that. So it says, what are the pros and cons when you share with someone that you are a single parent? Wait, so it's funny because the people that I have dated, they had children. So it wasn't hard at all. Like, they get it. They're like, look here, you got a daughter, I got a daughter. They're probably around the same age. They're going through the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was more relatable dating people with children, because they get it. They're like, oh, okay, you can't come out and chill this day, you know. It's like, okay, I get it. You have children. I do too. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that it requires being very strategic and scheduling. You have to schedule. Like, you know, like, okay, so your kids, you know, you got this day, my kids this day. You know, you have to schedule to get that a long time in. You know what I'm saying? When can it work? But I don't know. I think that's in that instant. But dating someone without children, it's not hard at all. 9 times out of 10, they've already looked up my Facebook profile. I mean, for real, it's the 21st century, right?
That's true. That's true.
9 times out of 10, they've looked up my Facebook profile, and they've seen that my babies are on there. You know what I'm saying? I don't post much about them, but they're going to do some digging, and they're going to see that. But I do. I tell them up front. I don't wait. I don't wait 3, 4, 5 months down the line, because I want to know. I want you to know, again, that I'm a package deal. So if we do go further into that relationship stage, or, you know, that my babies are with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're with me. So, yeah, I don't wait. Just like,
can I go back a little bit, just thinking of, you know, when it's the right time for the kids? You know, when do they heal? And, you know, a part of me think, like, the kids don't ever really get over, like, if you were married and their father was there, they don't ever really just get over that separation, that tear. They don't really, you know, I mean, because how you know how they say time will heal all wounds, but no, it
That
don't.
is not true at all.
No,
At
it
all.
don't.
Not
Sometimes
true.
times make it worse.
Yes.
Time
Yeah.
will go by and it's just like, well, dang, man, you supposed to be here. Like, I'm supposed to wake up and you supposed to be in the room. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, you supposed to be right there, and it's just not the case.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And so sometimes you'll see, even if it's years later, you end up dating again, and you find something serious, your children are kind of act out because they almost don't know where they're supposed to be,
Right.
or
There you go.
who they're
Acting
supposed to
out.
love, or
Right.
the like the loyalty. It's like almost
That's it.
loyalty.
That's it.
Well, I love my
Don't want to play
dad.
favoritism.
Yeah, I love you, Mom, and he's cool, but
Right. Yes. Yeah.
am I supposed to go back and give info to my dad about?
That's crazy. Yeah.
You know, and that's
Yeah,
I mean,
but
and they
it's
don't
the
know how
reality.
to. They don't articulate it like that, but that's just how it is.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
That's
yeah.
just how it is
Yeah.
because they don't know. They're figuring it out too.
Right.
And so it's like you gotta constantly be on them and tell them, hey, you know, it's all right. I mean, you know, we're all growing in this situation.
Mhm.
We're all growing. We're all learning to live with each other now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know,
It's
we're
an
all
adjustment.
learning to love each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's an adjustment for everyone. And it's funny you said that. Like I went through that. You know, because me and the children's father, we have a good co-parenting relationship, and where my child felt conflicted. You know, well, hey mom, I love dad, but now there's this new guy, and he's nice. He's a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like I like him, and I don't know how to feel about this. You know, just to be real. And like I said, I leave the space open for communication. I'm like, you know what? Thank you for sharing that with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. And then I processed it through with her. You know, I was like, okay. I'm like, it's okay to love your dad. It's okay to like this new guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's okay because the person I brought around, like, he's a safe person. We're just like friends. But you get what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was okay for her to feel that way. But again, where does the loyalty lie? And she kind of felt like she was betraying her father, just to be real. And I was like, and I had to explain that process. I'm like, even in dating, your mommy's going to get married again. And I was like, guess what? Daddy's probably going to get married again. And it doesn't mean that you love us any less, you know? But yeah, so, yeah, that happened in real life.
Oh, yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, just being in the beginning stages of being a single parent and trying to navigate what it looks like and setting up, you know, times and things like you were saying, like, what are some initial things that you would say to someone who's just starting to get back out there? Like, what advice would you give?
Well, first off, live. What would you say? Because you're about to say something?
Oh,
Okay.
did you say just getting back out there?
Yes.
To date as being a single parent?
As being a single parent.
Oh yeah, just live. I would say live because sometimes, even as being a parent, you may consider your children as like hindrances in life. Period. Oh, I can't do this. I can't attend this event because of my children. I can't. It's not about that. Live your life. Find someone who could babysit for you. Find, again, a support system, you know what I'm saying, for you, who can be there. And I'm like, okay, girl, I see you need your time to just, you know, go out on a day. Let me watch the children for you, you know, and ask. Don't be too prideful or afraid to ask for help, you know. Like, all the time, my cousin, hey, can you watch? I'm about to go on a date, you know. Let me just see how this goes. But definitely to live and not let your children be a hindrance. To you, and don't view it that way because it's not, because it's the part of the process. So that would be my advice.
You know, I was just thinking too, like even just a single parent period, like you even as a single parent, you have to kind of even transition yourself out of that because sometimes people get in their singleness and it's just like it's me by myself, me, I. And then when somebody else come along to help. That's like the hardest thing to do is help somebody who now have pride and I've been doing this by myself for so long. It's hard to take the trash out for somebody like that.
Woo, you did real. That.
You know, it's hard to help. And then when these children aren't mine and I'm trying to help and I mean discipline and all that, like everything, well wait, she does something wrong or he does something wrong. Am I supposed to say something about that? You know, like where do I fit in that portion,
That's
you
real.
know.
Yeah. So are you
That's
talking
real.
from the point of view of when you
Discipline.
were dating in discipline? Because I do think it's different once you get married. Like, it's not that you don't have those conversations,
Right.
Yeah.
but when you were dating,
Yeah.
what did that kind of look like, and what was the discussion in the process?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'll say this too. In me dating, I'm not dating. I mean, I would say all of us are in that same. If we're dating, we're not like.
Okay.
We're just about to kick it. You gonna meet the kids, and we go, 6 months,
Right.
and then it's a wrap. No, my whole plan is okay. I want a wife out of this.
Right.
There you go.
I want longevity. I want a
Yes.
lifetime out of this. I don't want to
Yes.
just kick it because if that's the case, we could just meet in a hotel somewhere, and that's that.
Well.
We don't need kids. We don't need family.
Yeah.
We don't need family reunions and all of that. So, but if we're going to do this a whole nother way, let's do it a whole nother way then.
Yeah.
Let's really be about
Yeah.
the business. Okay, so if I'm here and I'm like, okay, we gonna have to talk because these kids be acting up. And I'm not trying to just say I want to whoop them or anything, but if I do say, hey man, you tripping, sit down. That shouldn't be wrong.
Okay, so how early in the relationship were you thinking about those conversations, or was this immediately, or?
No, it wasn't immediate. I mean, because immediately it's you come in like a friend in a way.
Right.
It's like you're more so, hey, how you doing? It's a meet and greet.
Right.
It's it's not like you're an authoritative figure. I'm the policeman or something, and I'm watching everything you do. You didn't do your homework. So now I'm on you, but it's more so like, hey, let me show you how to do it this way, or, it's just I'm easing into everything, but after a while, it's like, all right, look, man, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And so, I mean, if you have that type of understanding with that person you're with, even if it's 5 months in, and it's like, listen, we're together. Like, that's just that. And that was my wife and I understanding. I mean, we basically, we talk like, listen, all right, I'm talking about like, I don't know, 6, 7 months in. All right, if we do this for a year, we get married. Before the year came up, we already done everything, had everything planned for, actually, we got married a year. We was on the date of the year, we got married.
Okay.
So we didn't actually wait until the year.
Yeah.
But it's like when you just know, and it don't have anything to do with love and all of that. Because, as I said before, people cheat on people and go have kids with people, and guess what they say? I loved them, though. I love them. So love don't really play a big factor in all of that, like, because people divorce each other and still have a certain amount of love.
Correct.
And
I think that goes into like when's the right time to introduce your children. But real quick, some more people hopped on. Maisha, oh, that's wifey. She said husband, I'm on. Right. Kanisha, Marciano, Stephanie, Shanika, William. Oh, that's Dallas. Hey. Hey, y'all. All right, but seriously, like, when is the right time to introduce your children, like, to the significant other? Like, what would you guys say?
I'm a believer, and some people will argue, but I'm a believer in the sooner the better, because I don't want to get involved with somebody and then fall for them only to realize that the kids, when you add the kids into the mix, it's just not working. And like you had mentioned earlier, it's not about the kids dictating the relationship or whether or not you move forward. But you want to be able to have a sense of, okay, so we're oil and vinegar right now, but can we make this blend? You know what I'm saying? But that takes time, because something else that you guys touched on too was like healing, from previous relationships. So I do believe that kids act out when they're being put into situations that they didn't ask to be put in.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
And they may not understand.
Exactly. So I think there is a sensitivity there, but I feel like the sooner I can get you introduced to my son, the better, because then I can get a feel for where he's at.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then gauge, okay, is he just being a kid,
Mhm.
or is there actually something that I need to be looking at that I'm not seeing in you?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's just a personal preference for me that
Mhm.
I want to get that out the way,
Mhm.
as opposed to going so far into the relationship
Mhm.
and then, like I said, being head over heels, and then to find out like this just is not gonna work.
It's not. And that's where the term like blended families come from.
Yeah.
And to find out, oh no, we're not blending. What's
Right.
going on here? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I agree with you. But for me, I think it's like 90-day mark for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, around like 90-day mark, because I can get a good feel of a person at that point, and to decide like even if you're worthy enough to meet my children. Just to be honest, you know. Yeah, if you're safe, you know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like everything. So.
And what are some ways that you guys would suggest, like, in introducing your kids? Is it something like if I've never done this, what would be some suggestions? Some things to maybe do, or some things that would help. Is it going out and having a family
Yeah.
bowling or something?
Yeah,
That's what I was
like,
gonna say.
family outing.
Yeah, that a family outing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The
Doing
kind of-
something like you said, fun together.
Mhm.
I've always introduced like Noah. Mind you, I was in a situationship for 7 years, so you know what I mean. Not a whole lot happened in that 7 years. But even this is he was introduced as a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is mommy's friend.
Correct.
You know
Correct.
what I mean? And then we kind of just maneuvered our way through. But I think at this point now too, prior to, my current relationship, we did FaceTime sessions. He did FaceTime sessions with the kids and got to know the kids via FaceTime. It didn't happen like all the time, but so that they knew who he was and he knew who they were.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to get familiar because of the distance, obviously. So that was a really cool way for them to kind of meet, because then they would ask, when is he coming? When is he coming? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then to see it all happen, but it kind of like broke the ice versus bring him into a situation where I'm
welcome.
comfortable,
Yeah.
right, and everybody else is
Surprise.
comfortable, and then
Right.
he's the new piece to the puzzle. So I think just finding ways that work for you to
You want to integrate.
yeah.
Yeah. Because it's about the blending.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree definitely. Like a family outing, like a movie night or something where you guys are together, and especially if they have children, it's a let's bring our children together. To get to know each other. So that's a whole nother dynamic. But to making sure, because the children, especially if they're close in age, are they blending and getting along and not being competitive, and you get what I'm saying?
Oh, but they're kids.
Yes, I know.
They're kids. So that's gonna. I think it's naturally just gonna happen. The kids are gonna, one's gonna try to dominate the other, and you know what I mean. Especially if one's older than the other. So I think that's just natural.
Yes.
But it's being able to look past that.
And seeing if it meshes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does he
yeah.
ask about him when he's over it? When you're not in the room anymore. Is he asking, no, can I go see so and so? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so you all were just being kids in that moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you're talking about like the safety of kids and the safety of just dating as a single parent, it's just not about you anymore. To what extent should you go to as far as being investigative? And what are some of your safety parameters?
Naturally, as women, we are investigators. Sorry, Brian.
I know.
Yes,
I call everyone
all
a detective. Y'all can
all
smell.
But I
some
think
stuff.
that's why it's important to take that time to get to know the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And really, especially, we have a foundation on a relationship with God. That's cute. Like, your discernment is kicking in. What is it saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you feel? Do you feel safe around this person? Because if you feel safe, your children may. You get what I'm saying? And just establishing that. And then also how they act around you and how they speak to you. Do they show you respect, kindness, love, all of that? okay, now let's see if they do that with the children as well, because that's not necessarily an indication of one thing, but I believe that even in protecting a child's emotions, that's making sure that they're safe. So that's, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think, you know, a test of your character is you as a parent. So if the other person is a parent as well, finding out how they interact with their children. Do they interact with their children?
Well,
I mean,
or
because
do they know their children?
right, you know, and not even in that way too, but like, do you really know your child? And you know, some parents don't know their kids' birthdays. To me, that's an indicator. Oh, yeah. Like you just not a part.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, or you don't know what it is that they like to do.
Yeah.
You don't have a relationship with your kids.
And
you know
what it is they like in the season. Because it shifts and it changes. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, he still likes cars. No, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like for real.
Yeah. How involved with your children are you?
Right.
You know, so I think that's another way to just kind of test someone's character and find out like more about them.
Oh yeah.
Is it okay to do a background check?
Well,
I don't see. I never.
I have it,
but I don't see anything wrong with it.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know.
I'm gonna say this right here, right? I'm a convicted fella. I did 12 years in the penitentiary, but you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't know that unless I tell you that. So the thing is, what type of person are you dealing with?
Yeah.
If what you said with discernment, if you have a certain level of discernment, you gonna know. You just gonna know something ain't right, irregardless to whatever the person's background is. You gonna know. Hold on, man, something ain't right with this cat.
Yeah.
Like I just have in my stomach, like literally, where if something is wrong, I know.
Correct.
Something ain't right. Something, you know, I know. But you don't know you got a killer in your house.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't know.
Real.
And also too, like the point you just made too, and not to be stereotypical, because something may, you know what I'm saying? Just like you said, some people like they may have went to jail for something, and say it was something that happened in their teen years, and now they're an adult and they grew past that. So not judging, but it's important to know about their background and to know about their history, but and just being careful.
You want to have that question, man? Have you been in jail before?
Right.
Was you in there messing with pump? I mean, sometimes you just come right out. I mean, do you like boys?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, that's real. Just period.
And sometimes, I mean, the hesitation or whatever, to look to the other side, you can just tell. You might get that feeling. You get that feeling of deuces. Something wrong with them.
Yeah, and I think that's just across the board, parent or no parent. You know, like if you feel like something's off in the person that you're talking to, then do that and have a background check, you know, because then you're only securing yourself.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Correct. So, and if something does come back that, you know, something has happened, talk to the person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a story.
Right.
Everybody has a story.
Absolutely.
And you don't know what happened, what caused this, whatever. You know, so talk to them. I think we owe it to ourselves to, before we shut someone completely down, to hear, you know, someone's story.
Right.
You know, but most of the time, the people I've been introduced to have been through people that I know.
Yeah.
So I haven't felt the need to do anything like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Because they know, oh, you grew up with Day.
Right.
Just a question, like, you know, you around somebody, I done been around some cats where I'm like, alright, I don't like dude. His attitude ain't right. Like, you can just tell, you just know. But the thing is, if you're dating somebody, and you can't just ask them regular questions. Like, that's general stuff. That's the first couple of age type
I
stuff
was
to
about
me.
to say, yeah, you should be able
That's
to
the first
have
few
that
conversations.
conversation.
You been to jail? How long? Or, you know, was you a drug dealer? Or because I want to know what's your background. What was you into? I mean, because now you got to ask, hey, Miss Lady, do you like women? You know what I mean? Like women like women. Like crazy.
Both sides.
So it's like, you know, dudes literally come from prison and give women HIV. So it's like, you gotta know.
Yeah.
That's true.
You just gotta know.
That is true.
So in dating a single parent, how do you handle the ex?
Lord.
guys need to have an understanding, like, that you both want what's best for the child.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you would hope that the other person wouldn't be putting your child in any kind of danger or anything like that. But just having that conversation, like, yeah, you know, I'm seeing somebody now, and so this person's going to be around our son, so just, you know, I don't think that they necessarily need to have a conversation right off rip, but I think at some point
Correct.
they will.
Correct.
They will need to have a conversation, because I'm not going to be the one, if you got kids, I got kids, we're not doing everything through you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need to be able to go pick up or drop off and without you, and I need to be able to have civil relationship with the child's mother. You know what I mean? So I think that it's a conversation that has to be had at some point, but I don't think it needs to be like first thing off the checklist.
Yeah. Step one.
Right.
Yeah. Now, how to handle the ex? For me, I want to meet her. You know what I'm saying? Because because I'm grown.
Yeah.
I am an adult. And if we're to that point where it's serious, yes, same thing. Hi, I'm Courtney. Nice to meet you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm going to be around your son or daughter. You know, your child. You know, because I'm dating so and so. And yeah, let's have this conversation. You know, what are your fears as being the child's mother? You know what I'm saying? What's overstepping boundaries for you? And then let me tell you about my boundaries. Because I'm in a picture now. You know what I'm saying? Not to throw it out like pop, pop, pop. Like, you know what I'm saying? But still, I'm in the picture now, just out of respect, you know. You know, just, I don't know, just a general conversation, but not coming off as like, oh, I'm the new woman.
Right.
But it's in the best interest of the children. Because same thing, I'm going to be around, I'm going to be picking up, you're going to, you know, so.
And like, I believe, like, everybody should have everybody's number. At some point, everybody should be having conversations with everybody.
Yeah, but that to me sounds like perfection. Like
no, it's not. No,
it's not. But I'm saying, the reason I said perfection is because it sounds like what's right. But that's usually never what happens.
Well,
that's usually never what happens.
It depends on the maturity level.
Right. It depends on the parties involved. You can either decide to be immature, or like Courtney said, you could decide to be grown and say, this is what it is. You know what I mean? And like she said, nobody's trying to step on anybody's toes, but I can't be worried like, oh, I'm not going to do it because she's going to be there. And you know what I'm saying? We can't have that attitude. You have to go into this thinking like, you know, again, this is not about me. We want what's best for the children. And so if we can be amicable and do this as a unit, then let's do it. But you never want to go into it thinking like, oh, wow.
Forget her.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is making sure when it comes to, like, if it's my significant other and their ex, sometimes the relationship hasn't been severed enough. Like, it hasn't been clear that we're not getting back together. I'm moved on.
Or they still have hopes on getting
back
together. Even though they've killed the relationship.
Exactly. So sometimes it's more of the other person needs to step in and have some grown conversations with that ex. You know, and still some things are out of your control. You may have had those conversations and they're still not getting it.
I mean, you gotta think most women, like, I believe y'all, because I know when y'all cut off. Y'all can be there and cut off.
Well, I was about to say, that's usually a guy's perspective, like on guys. Like guys, you're easier to, when it's done, it's done. Women, not necessarily. We're emotional creatures. So when we attach ourselves, it's hard. We can say that we're done, but it's harder for us to let go and to move on.
Right. Especially when you've had a child with that person.
Right. So it's at some point, yes. I think when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, yes, there comes a point where you're just done, and there's nothing that they can say or do to mend that portion. You just know that you guys have to be better and do better for the sake of the child.
And usually that took forever to get to, though. And that's what I mean. Like, you could be like, okay, I'm done with this situation, but it took 5 years for you to leave. You see what I mean? It took a while for that momentum to just be like, all right, deuces.
No, man.
But you've been there, so he could possibly still think like, okay, I got something here. And so when you have a woman that's single, and like he's really the only cat that you call or deal with because of the child, most guys is like, I got her.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
mine.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, I'm here, there, and everywhere, but she's mine. And so when
Because she
somebody
had my
else
child.
come in, yeah, she got my child.
Wow. That's real.
That's
That's
mine over there. My
And
flag.
even,
That's over there.
and even
That's
if
real.
it, I mean, again, this can apply to every aspect. You don't have to have children for a guy to know or have the idea that
No.
he still has
No,
you.
not at all.
You know, but I think again, it's up to you have to have mature conversations.
Right.
You have to be able to make the decision, like, okay, I'm now seeing this new person, and I can't go running to his dad or her dad all the time for everything.
For
You know what I'm
this
saying?
and that.
I need to be the enforcer of certain things now.
Right.
And if I'm going to be bringing in another guy to step into the role, or to be my partner, I need to be going to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? There are certain things, yes, that you obviously want to include the children's mother or father with, because it pertains to the child.
Yeah.
But all those other things that I used to run and go to, like, I can't go to him anymore. I have to go to the person that I'm choosing to have a relationship with.
And that comes from being healthy and being healed, like we talked
Yes.
about.
Right.
Because then you know better. Okay,
Right.
now I'm with this man. I can no longer go to the person I had a child with.
Yeah.
But not everyone's healthy though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, that's the problem when everyone isn't healthy.
Right.
And you have to kind of expect that everyone won't be healthy.
Right.
I mean, so you got to work towards it or try your best to work
Well,
towards that.
or you might just want to let that sit a little
Or
bit.
let it be. Yeah, or let it
Because
be.
honestly, if you're seeing those kind of characteristics, and might be something even now, from my point of view, this might be even something to really kind of see if you're ready. Because if you're still calling them for every little thing,
You're not really.
maybe you're really not ready to go into a new relationship. And I'm not saying don't ask for help. Absolutely, there's things where you might need help. But do you have other friends, or is there things or other resources? Like some point you got to cut those ties so you can move forward.
Because that's the way you still hook. Like you said, if you still have whatever the tie may be, it could be, all right, look, I need you to come do this. No, you should never, I need you to come if you're you're choosing someone else. Because now that's going to spill over into, you got a new situation and hey, I need you, and I'm like, well, what you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm a whole grown man. What you doing?
Like, no matter what the case may be, I don't care what's going on.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on, me and him can talk whatever, but y'all, that ain't, and see, that's even the thing too. Like, after you done had children and it's been a while, it's like you have a certain conversation. Well, we celebrate the birthday then, or we celebrate the birthday at this time, and we do it this. Hold on, excuse me.
You can't dictate.
Y'all aren't a we.
Anymore.
You and I are a we. We are the we, not y'all. So it's like when you jump over and say, with this cat, y'all, we, wait. So you over there then?
So are you saying that they can't celebrate birthdays together?
No, it's not about, no. What I'm saying is everything changed because, in other words, you can't have everything the same as it always been. So if you and the child's father used to do everything, like y'all did everything a certain way, ain't no y'all no more.
Because now since you're married,
There is no y'all.
Your opinion matters.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay.
And so in a way that as far as the boundary especially to let your husband know, like, listen, ain't nothing over there. Like, that ain't nothing. I don't call him for nothing, or, there's nothing over there. To let him know that, you can, hey man, look, so he talking about he wants the birthday this day, or he wants to celebrate, okay, well, we go, or however. But the whole point is, with you and the baby father, there's no we no more. There's no we do this, there's no us, because we are the we. Now we co-parent. Whether it's, if he's single, there's me and you and him.
Yeah.
We
Everybody's
co-parent.
apart.
So it's that's what I say it's almost impossible because it happens. But it's
I was
almost
saying,
impossible
there
to
are a lot of
blend.
examples
Mhm.
of people where the child's parents.
But I wonder how long it took. I
It
just
doesn't
wonder how long
matter.
it
It
took.
doesn't matter. The point is they got there because.
Yeah, but I know it
they
takes a
wanted
while
to.
though.
But it has to be an effort on everybody's part.
Of course, but I'm
Because
saying
if
it
you
took a while.
if you
I bet you it took more than 10 years.
Oh no!
I
It
bet.
No.
Again, it
No.
depends. It depends on.
Yeah.
Do you want this to work?
Yeah.
Can you
If the
guys,
person's
as a
happy.
unit, make this work?
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't take 10
But
years.
who
Y'all
as a
are
unit?
adults.
Who as a unit?
You as the adults. Can you guys, as adults, sit down and come together and say that, you know what, we're going to let bygones be bygones.
Mhm.
This is our dynamic now. This is, like you said, this is no longer a we over here.
Yeah.
This is an us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It becomes
because
a
you guys
us.
are married
Mhm.
now.
Yes, it becomes an us. And even if we're not married, we're dating.
Yeah.
We're still an us now. This is somebody that maybe, yes, I'm going to marry, we're gonna, whatever. But right now, this is the dynamic. So
Right.
you have to, as adults, make a decision
Yes.
that we are going to co-parent collectively.
Yes.
Now, yes, does it
It comes
take
to
time? Yeah,
maturity.
it's not gonna happen overnight.
No.
It's not gonna, it might take more than a year. But it shouldn't take you 10 years to
No.
get to that point
Nah, it
because
shouldn't
you
take
have
10
you
years. It
because you
shouldn't.
guys should be able to be
Child
adults
almost
about
grown
it.
about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So-
If it's taking that
Mature.
long, you need counseling.
Yeah.
My
Because
or
thing
to
is,
let it go.
Like in my
Yeah.
situation, it's like I'm not. If we can't rap together as men and let it be, hey, it is what it is. But my whole thing is what I understand with men, as I said, a lot of times when a cat feel like he have you in a certain place or had a female in a certain place for so long, he feel like I can
And that-
do
and
what I
that's
want.
up to
I
her.
can
That
say what I
shows-
want.
Yeah, I agree. Because that just shows that whoever he was an immature man.
Mm-hmm.
Because not being able to let go, but
Mhm.
that shows the importance of the relationship having healthy boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's needed.
And she
Yeah.
needs to make it clear too. She
Mhm.
has to step
Mhm.
forth and say, this is what it is. And like you just said, the boundaries.
Yeah.
Because as
Yeah.
long as
Yeah.
she's going back and letting him believe
Mm-hmm.
that he has room, then he's going to keep thinking
Yeah,
that
in
way.
any little way.
Yeah.
But
So
see,
it
the little
depends
way
on
where
her
it could,
too.
the little place where some
Everybody
room
plays a
could be
factor.
is okay, going with say we talk about discipline or something, and of course another man ain't gonna want to see another man, disciplining his child. And me personally, I'm not somebody who whoop kids or none of that. So, but I'm gonna take something away from you, whether it's
Right.
TVs,
Timeout.
games,
Yeah.
timeout, whatever. Bye. Your room can be like jail. You can go in there if you don't want to do what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I don't want to see you.
Time out.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm saying on the flip side, now we have a child that's like, well, Dad, this, that, and the third is going on, and you see what I mean? There goes some issue.
No, again,
Oh, no, that's, yeah.
the parents have to be able to have a conversation
Yeah.
because a
That's
child
it.
can
Child.
go back and
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. They're gonna do that. They're
and
going to do that.
It
That's why
happens.
That's why it's
Yeah, it happens.
important that the parents can
Mhm.
communicate.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you should be able to discipline that child. It's under your roof
Yeah,
that you
of course.
should be able to discipline. Now, if your thing is not hitting and that's what you guys have discussed, then that's what you discussed. But a child will do that. They will try to manipulate the
Yeah, they'll play.
situation.
A child will
They
break
won't
your
play.
situ- a
They'll
child
play
will break
all
your
three
relationship.
parties.
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
why it's important
Or
for
four,
communication.
depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they'll play
Yes.
all 3 or 4 parties.
Yes.
Almost.
They will break
Dad,
your
to mom,
relationship
stepmom,
up.
stepdad.
Yeah,
or
play it all
somebody.
against each
Yeah,
other.
somebody's
Yeah.
gonna get me my way.
Right.
So,
that's
and
why
you
I'm
talking about that and talking about the children, how important is the child's opinion about your new boo, your new, and that
That's right.
dynamic and that role?
For me, my babies are younger, but it does matter because like I trust, like I've trained my children. Me and their father have developed them to same thing, like use their giftings and to know they know when something is off in a person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They can sense it, and if it's something like, Mom, I don't feel comfortable around Mr. So-and-so, I'm gonna be like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? And but I'm not just gonna keep it there. I'm not just gonna keep it there, but I'm gonna ask, what about this person makes you comfortable? You know, you're gonna dive into it just to make sure, because I would never want to put my children in that predicament.
Absolutely.
You know, so I mean, to me, even them being young, like it matters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and it's different if you had like a teenager.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But with the younger kids, Noah's 9. He'll be 10 this year. So he still thinks, mom and dad are gonna get back together.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's managing expectations, and it's just being considerate, and like you said, asking the questions. If they bring something up, trying to dig deeper into them, like, well, where's this coming from? What happened?
Yeah.
But not pushing too hard that they shut down.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So just trying to figure out where are they, why they feel that way. And then I also have a conversation with my partner. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is what's going on over here. Well, how do you know what I mean?
Right.
Especially they have kids, because then we can, digest that together.
Yeah.
Right.
Have your kids said anything?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And try to kind of fill that out. But when they're so young, you listen to you take note of the red flags.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Take note,
And you dive in. But at the end of the day, as long as the child is safe and they're not at risk for anything, they could just be being a child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I want mommy and daddy back
Yeah.
together.
I don't want
So,
anybody else stepping in. Yeah.
So just having wisdom in that.
Right. So one of the the question that our poll was for this week was, would you consider dating a single parent? And majority of people said yes. And now there's, from the perspective of someone who's single with no kids, we had a few people who answered that, but they also said, but I have a lot of questions. So initially, when I started like dating and growing up, I was not open to the fact of dating and meeting someone with kids.
Okay.
And that was because probably I really wanted someone who we were going to build a family together. And all I had really known was, at the time growing up, I didn't know a lot of single parents. Even in school and in the people I was around and in my family, that just wasn't. It
wasn't a
thing.
Right.
So I didn't want that. I really wanted to get married, have a family. Now my thought has shifted. And so my question to myself, and I think a lot of singles who are over 30, 35, the question is, well, do I want to date a single parent? And is that because of my age and I'm having to accept it more? Because of the culture and things that have shifted? Or am I really okay with that? For me, having already been married, I'm a little bit more open to it because of my age, I do feel like plays a factor. And then the other question I kind of thought about too was, does it matter what background they're coming from as far as being a single parent? So or if they're coming from divorce and they have kids, or if they're coming from a widow or something, or if they've just been out there and having kids. So does it make a difference? You know, because that's a legitimate question. You know, because there is a difference. If I personally feel there's a difference. You know, when someone's been married, there's a commitment factor. Maybe there's only one other person you're dealing with. Versus someone who's been sowing their oats. That's
baby.
That's a little bit more involved. Like, so it's different dynamics. So I think for us who are single, trying to approach it, I feel like, well, where's our place, or you know, what can we do to where it's not, we have no kids whatsoever. So, what kind of advice would you guys give to someone who's just single and thinking about, okay, is this even something that I want to consider, but I'm really scared.
And that's exactly what it is. It's that fear. I think first is determining like your non-negotiables, like we talked about, even in the last season, because if deep down inside you, like, you know what, I can't handle, or like we talked about earlier, I don't have the grace for someone with children. Being honest with yourself, because you would hate to get into a relationship and then it just all fall to pieces because you weren't ready for that responsibility. So being honest.
It's an instant responsibility.
Literally.
Yeah.
You don't have time for the 9 months to pregnancy
Right, no,
and
it's
seeing them
here.
develop. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay, you have a 6-year-old now.
Yeah.
You have a woman and a 6-year-old. So so just being honest with yourself and knowing, is that something that you have the grace for? If you don't, then stay away from that and hold your boundaries, but also God, He sees your heart and He knows your desires, and it doesn't mean that He can't provide that for you. You know, someone without children.
And I mean, He may even, you may even open up, because again, when I got with my wife, like, I was just like, all right, look, I don't want to be with no female here kid. I just don't want to do it. Because, like, it was just going back to the other guy. It wasn't even about her or the kids. It's like, okay, man, I don't want to have to deal with nobody coming in my house any old time. Where my baby at? Or you got some other dude over here. I just didn't want to deal. I seen a lot of that. You know, it's a lot of people getting in a mess about somebody's kid. I'm not trying to fight nobody about their kids. Arguing with somebody about their kids.
So it wasn't even about the woman and her child. It was just the third party or someone extra. Okay.
And it's like, I mean, in a way, a person who has kids with someone, who have a whole nother life, a whole nother, it's like a part of you is gone already. Like a part of you is, you're connected to somebody else. However go, you're connected. So, am I willing to deal with that? Am I willing to deal with that? Hello? Hey, am I willing to deal with that?
Jesus,
am I willing to deal with that? 'Cause it's a package deal. When you come, it's like the grocery bags, the sleds, the swings, the crying, whatever it may be. The one that's unruly, whatever.
And like you were saying, Janine, like even as you get older, you have to see the population that you will be dating. So like, all right, I'm 30. Oh man, now I'm 35, almost 40. The population you want to date, it depends on your age range. So for you, it may be, okay, I want to date somebody between 35 and 45. About 80% of the chance that they may have a child.
Right, and that's what I was saying, you know.
Yeah, it's the population that you want to date.
And I think even coming from, you know, my perspective, you know, I have a son, but I never really considered dating somebody with children. So the first time I ever talked to somebody who had children, they were a little bit older, right?
Yes.
So I was just like, and then I found out there was more than what I knew. And I was like, oh, so it's not just you. People who have children don't necessarily want to date people who have children. You know what I mean? I think just because it's assumed that just because you have a child, you want more children. Because that's not the case.
No,
maybe I'm just happy with my own, you know, right here. And on Instagram we had a statement like that. Like they're very happy with where they're at, and they don't. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't that way. They want to date. I could be getting this all wrong. They want to date somebody with children because they don't want to have any more children themselves. You know, so there's so many different perspectives to come from, you know. But like for me, like I said, I never considered being with somebody who had children because I hadn't been with anybody who had children before. So it was even an adjustment for me, and I have a child. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just. It's not just because you don't have children. It's us too. We're kind of like, man, you know. So
and it's funny too because even with me, look, since you're bringing that up, like I have a limit. No.
You do, right? Because like I said, for me, I found out there was two. I knew there was two, but then I found out there was a third, and I was like, I'm a little bit overwhelmed.
Like,
you know.
Wait, so do you have 6 children? 5? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I have a limit, but then again, you can't put that on God because we're saying all this now, and who knows? You know who God's gonna bring, and it's gonna be something probably completely different than what we're even thinking.
Exactly.
I think so. It's important to stay open-minded. In that. Oh, hi, Anisha joined. Oh, Auntie Troya Cha. But yeah, so they said good and real conversations. It takes a special person to love someone else's child.
Absolutely.
My God, it does. Again, having that grace.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
You know,
you
I
have
was
to.
thinking of something when you was talking. Like, okay, my wife already had a child.
Mhm.
I didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, shoot, I want some babies. Like, I want babies.
I want babies.
So it's like, what if what if you want some kids, you know,
And
the
they don't
single
want it
person,
anymore.
and they're like, no, I want no kids.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I already
It's
have
like, so-
mine. That happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
That's
Yeah.
a question
Yeah.
early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
the
is.
expectation.
But even then, it could change. It could kind of, you know, you could be.
That's a whole different subject, though.
That's it.
Well, listen, guys.
That's a bait and switch.
We are about 5 after 8 o'clock. So, I mean, we could probably talk on this for another hour or so.
Yeah.
So, I think we're just going to end it on that note that you are not alone. Even though that you
Mhm.
are single and don't have any children, we feel the same way. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I think, is there any last tidbits that you would like to throw out there?
No, just in reference to don't think that just because you're a single parent that God is overlooking you.
Right.
Whether
Oh,
you
no,
had
no,
children
no.
inside of a marriage or not, that
That's
He
good.
still won't bless you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Somebody looking
Because
at
He
you.
will.
Somebody looking.
He
Best
will.
believe that.
Yeah.
All right. Do any of you ladies, or bring on whoever, do any of you guys feel like closing us out in prayer?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Lord, we just want to say thank you, God. Thank you for everyone who has tuned in and who will catch the replay, Father God. Thank you for each and every person who is here today. Thank you for Breon for just bringing him on from a male's perspective, even in reference to dating a single parent. God, right now, I just want to say that you bless each and every person that is on and each and every single parent, just to remind them that they are not alone, even in the process, and that as long as they follow your step and the path that you have laid out for them, God, that you will bring them their heart's desires, God. So I'm just praying right now that you just give them a constant reminder of the love that you have for them, and for them to know, even in this season, that they are not alone. They are not alone. Even in times where being a single